State and spell your name.
Susan Rowlen, R-O-W-L-E-N. I met Brian when I went to the Congress Theater. Well, I got invited by Dave Olson, the lead paranormal investigator of his team, and he had asked me if I would be interested in coming to the Congress Theater and just seeing what I would pick up. And I told him sure. He then had asked me if I had any knowledge of the Congress, which I didn't. I didn't even know where it was. So I had to do a Google to find out where I was going. And I was meeting, I think it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was getting ready and I was in my washroom and I'm putting on my shoes, and all of a sudden I see a spirit coming to me. A young man in a double-breasted pinstripe suit with a hat, and young. He was like in his early 20s. And he didn't say anything, and I just looked up and I see this image of him. And then that was it. He disappeared, and I just figured it was more to come. Something was preparing me. I didn't know what yet. But I thought, okay, maybe as I get closer and I go there, it'll work itself through. So I had gotten there, and it was a big, old building with such character. It was huge. It took the whole block. And I was staring at it when I parked across the street, and I could just remember looking at it, and it just had that eeriness, but it had so much to say at the same time. So I had met with Dave, and he had his team there, and it was pretty extensive what he had going on. And I remember walking in with my daughter, who also took photographs, and I could remember the mess that was in the main stage. There was a ton of, and I had met, I believe, the owner, and he was walking, and he said that he wanted to take me from room to room and see what I had gotten. And I said that was fine. And when I got to certain rooms, we started off with a washroom, one of the main floor washrooms. And I actually started to see in the past. It became 1926 again. So now the theater is no longer the way I viewed it as I came in. It went back to 1926, and it was lavish. And it had the beautiful 1920s atmosphere of the furniture. And I actually saw the people and the dressing and the decor. It was just unbelievable. When I tell you unbelievable, it was something out of the Ziegfeld Follies. So we started going to all of these different rooms, and we started with the main bathroom, and I didn't see too much in there. And then he took me into the one room, and it had a chase lounge, I remember. And I started going back again in time, because I can time travel. And I'm there, everything's going on, but it's almost like I'm invisible. And at one point, I see a shower stall, a washroom, that no longer really was there, but I saw it at that period. And I did tell the owner that there was a shower here, and a man died in the shower. And he had fallen, he had slipped, he hit his head, and he died. There was blood everywhere. And I said, there was a shower here. He said, there was. And he said, he died. I said, yes. And all of a sudden the projectionist, the man who died, that's what he was. It was his job to do the film and to show film. And then there was a window that overlooked the theater. And he said, you're absolutely right, because this is where he would show his movies. And the projectionist was telling me his story, and that he wanted everyone to know he did his job well. But he was still in the theater. And I also said, as I'm looking at the empty seats now, there's one seat that laid all the way back, that reclined back. And I said, do you see that seat? And he said, yes. I said, that seat goes back and forth. He said, yes, it does. He says, it rocks like a rocking chair. How did you know that? And I said, because I see the spirits that are still here will sit. And this man who's playing, he will actually, you'll see the film. It's just unbelievable. And he said in the middle of the night, he actually sees a flash. and the projection goes on. And he sees the chair going back and forth. Of course, there's no picture, but there is this abundance of light. And I said, yes, because he is doing his job as he says. So that was interesting, and you know, there is no shower. They dissolved that, they remodeled it, so it was not there. So there was no way that I would have known that. But it was there, and I had seen it because it all came to life for me to see.
How'd you feel? I mean, during that time, I mean, did you feel like you're?
I tell you, the presence and the essence was just it was just beautiful. They don't make theaters like that anymore. There was a lot of history and a lot of art to it. Everything was done class act. But there was also a lot of men that handled a lot of things, and they had their shows going on, but then they had their illegal activities going on as well. We went to the next room, and you know, he told me that, I said, there's a woman here, and he said, yes, I was told that there had been a cleaning lady who loved to hang around. I said, this was not a cleaning lady. This was a beautiful woman, 6 foot tall, with a white satin robe, heels that were in slippers, and she had a blunt black hairstyle. And she was one of the call girls. He says, you see a woman? I said, oh, I see a woman. He says, the cleaning lady. I said, oh, she doesn't look like a cleaning lady. I said, she was definitely a call girl. And there was a lot of sex going on in that room. We went into a different room, and I saw a man hanging from the rafters. There was another bathroom. It was all in white, and there was blood everywhere. So somebody had gotten shot, and that happened. And it's funny, as white as the bathroom and the tile was, I constantly saw the blood. That was pretty disturbing. And we had gone to another room upstairs, and this was where they had all their business dealings. And this was, I believe, a lot of Irish mob was taking place there. And this is where they would do their money, and they would hide their money and all of that. That was very interesting. And when I told the owner, and he said, yes, do you see any money now? I said, no, the money's all gone now. But at one point, it was all hidden. And I did tell them where it was. We proceeded throughout the theater, and at one point, we went upstairs to the attic. And you can oversee the whole theater. And it was very dark. And it was funny because every time I saw a spirit, my daughter would start taking pictures, and whatever she developed, spirits were in there, orbs were in there, in the directions that I was feeling. But there was this one young girl that was trapped in the rafters across, and there really wasn't much of a floor. And I looked at her, and she told me she had fallen. And she was so scared, but how she was reliving it every night, how she would just keep falling. And I felt so sorry, and she was holding on with her dear life that she wouldn't fall through the floor. So that was very sad, very sad. So finally now we go downstairs, and after seeing the many rooms and so forth, I get to the main stage, and I look, and the main stage had a beautiful wooden floor, and all of a sudden I see now the gentleman that appeared in my bathroom before I left my own home. And I see him coming from the street inside, coming down the main stairwell into the lobby, and there are girls performing on stage. It's like Broadway. And now there's a policeman with a navy dark blue and a belt and those high top hats that they had, and he's chasing him. And I'm watching all of this, and he's chasing him, and the guy with the double-breasted brown suit goes behind the stage, behind the girls. And he can't see now where he went because the theater's packed. It's back in 1926. And he's behind the girls on the stage. The policeman now is just looking, can't find him. And he goes down, there's a trap door. So I told the owner, there is a trap door right there. And I said, you have underground tunnels here, because that's how he got away. And that's when He said, yes, there's 6. I said, I see 3. He goes, there's 6. I go, okay, you've got him. So he got away. So it was really interesting to see that.